Hi, War Cubs. This is Miss Whitford, the band director here at H.J. McDonald, and today I'm here with our new chorus teacher.
Hi, I'm Mr. Rosser. I'm the new chorus teacher here at H.J. McDonald. I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys, and I hope that we have a fun year together.
All right, so today, since we aren't able to get quite back to school yet, we thought we would take you through a mini lesson doing some review with the staff, clefs, and ledger lines. And we would like for you, if you're able to, and if you have internet connection, to go to musictheory.net. And once you get to that, you're going to go to Lessons and the Staff, Clef, and Ledger Lines. So in front of you, you will see the staff is the foundation upon which notes are drawn. There are 5 lines starting from the bottom going up to the top, and 4 spaces, again, from the bottom to the top. Every line or space represents a white key on the piano keyboard. So you can see there how they're related. All right, and then we have 2 clefs. Now most of you are going to read the treble clef, which is the one on the left. We also have the bass clef on the right.
So the treble clef is normally used for higher pitched instruments, so like a flute, clarinet uses one, saxophone, like an alto soprano saxophone. So normally higher pitched instruments will use the treble clef. And then also soprano, alto voices will also use the treble clef. Bass clef is used more for lower pitched instruments, so maybe like a tuba, like a cello maybe, a trombone, and then also baritone and bass singers, they use bass clef as well. So first, here is the treble clef, again used for all the higher pitched instruments. It's also called the G clef. And the reason why it's called the G clef is because it wraps around that second line.
Sorry. There you go.
And so we have a name for that note, and it's called G. And it also looks like a G. So if you ever think about why it's called a G, the way it wraps around, it kind of wraps around like a G does. So yeah, that line is G. So then when we go up, then in the musical alphabet, after G is A. So G, then A, then we would go up again, B, then up again, C, D, E, F, G. So then, when you get to the end of the staff, you have to figure out where do we need to place the notes that are higher, because it doesn't just stop on G. The notes can get higher, it can get lower, it can do whatever it wants. So then, we have ledger lines. So that's a ledger line. And it basically extends the notation. It extends the staff. So there we can put the A that's higher than the G on the top of the staff.
And it continues to go in the musical alphabet. Mm-hmm. So the next note up would just be B, and then you continue through the musical alphabet repeating.
So now we have the bass clef, which is also called the F clef. Now, the reason why it's called the F clef is because there are 2 dots, and they are around the 4th line, and then it also kind of resembles the 2 lines on an F. So easily you can call that F. It's an F, an F clef. So again, you go up, G, A, and then you can go down, and then you go backwards on the musical alphabet. So there are all the notes displayed for you right there. So now we have the grand staff. The grand staff theoretically consists of 11 lines. And then we get rid of the middle line, and then we have 2 regular staffs.
This would be treble clef up top, mm-hmm. And then connected to it is the bass clef. Mm-hmm. They're going to show you that right here.
So then that theoretical line that's missing that becomes middle C. That's the line that is directly in between both the treble and the bass clefs.
Alright, so now that we understand staff, clefs, and ledger lines, we are going to go press our home button over on the left hand side, and we're going to go back to the top, and instead of going to lessons, we're going to go to the next button which says exercises. And then where it says staff identification, we're going to click on note identification. Now this is a good way for everybody to practice, and it's actually pretty fun because it tells you whether you're correct or incorrect, and you get a score. So as you see here, we have a staff. Now we can customize it by going to the right. There's a clock cog. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to go to the very first category which says clefs. When I click on that, I can choose the grand staff. If you're a piano player, mallet keyboard player, you may want to choose that. If you've had lessons before and you already know both clefs, that would be fine. If you're just learning one clef, chorus students, you're probably going to want to choose the treble clef. And the majority of band students will also. Any tuba players, trombone players, or baritone BC players will choose the bass clef. And then you can see you can choose both as well if you want to learn both without learning it as a grand staff. Right now we're going to start with the treble clef. And then we can change the range. So if you want to go ahead and practice learning notes that are above the staff, if you're in 7th or 8th grade, you probably would want to do that. Those ledger lines, then you can leave it as it's written, or you can even extend it to go higher or lower. If you are a 6th grader, you might want to stop around one line below or above the staff. So that's where we'll keep it for right now. And then you can click on key signatures, and 6th graders, we're going to leave the natural sign. That's the first option there, which means no key signatures. And my 7th and 8th graders and chorus students who've had chorus before, you may want to choose some different key signatures, and that will just give you accidentals as you're identifying the notes. And do not click helpers, leave that turned off. And accidentals, most 6th graders again will leave that off, and if you want to challenge yourself in the upper grades, you can turn that on. And then the very bottom says challenge mode. We're going to click on for challenge mode. You can give yourself a time limit. I would say the majority of you should be able to do this in about 10 minutes, a little mini activity. You can make it shorter if you feel like you're better. And then you can go all the way up to 100 questions. So you pick how many questions you want to try. If you want to be able to try more than once to get the right answer, then you turn on multiple attempts. So we'll turn that on. We'll go back to the very beginning by clicking on the cog, and then in the middle of your screen you'll see Start Challenge. There we're going to start the challenge. And you're going to figure out what note letter name this is. And if you are a beginner, you're going to think about the lines and spaces. Start from the very bottom of the spaces, which are face, F-A-C-E, and I know that's a C. So I would click on that, and it tells me that I got it right up here where it says 1 of 1, 100%. And then I know my lines start with E because every good boy deserves fudge, so I know that that very bottom line is an E. You'll also notice that it plays the pitch for you if you have the volume turned up, which is kind of neat. So we want you to complete this activity and try to get 100% in 10 minutes, and try to challenge yourself and do 100 note identification questions. And we hope that you guys are enjoying some of your time off school and not forgetting what you've learned so far this year. Enjoy the rest of your days off, and we hope to see you soon.